Is this the right one?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. You guys are getting all the behind the scenes. We're not even on the air yet. All right. Welcome to the program. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio for a few more days. And then on Monday, I'll start saying celebrating 46 years on the radio. All right. We've got a lot to talk about today. Everything sounds really tinny. I don't know why. And we're going to cover quite a few topics. And today is one of those days. There we go. That's much better. That seemed to do it. Today is one of those days where right before I left my house, I kind of changed what I was going to talk about on the show this morning. I had an idea of what I was going to talk about. And then I saw something and I said, this is what I'm going to lead with today because it's so important. And it's about this Republican that they're giving a hard time to because he lied. He lied about his resume to get elected, the Santos guy. And I'm going to do something I don't know if I've ever done before. I'm going to defend someone for lying. George Santos is his name. And what got me to, I did talk about it a little bit yesterday. It was a little bit defending him. But I saw this morning that Tulsi Gabbard, who's a real creep, just went after him, tarred and feathered George Santos while she was filling in for Tucker Carlson last night. And I said, you know what? I gotta get into this. So I'm gonna talk about George Santos. I'm gonna defend his lying, tell you why he lied, why George Santos did the right thing lying, and why I am still gonna support this guy, even though he is an admitted liar. He lied about his resume. And there's a bunch of other things we're going to talk about on the program as well, but we're going to talk about that right here in the beginning. And after I make my case, I think most of you out there will agree with me that George Santos made the right decision when he lied. But before we get into that, this morning, I just had an exciting morning. Right before I left my house, SpaceX, Elon Musk, launched another rocket into outer space. And I watched it from my driveway. Usually when SpaceX is launching, I climb up on my roof. But at 4:30 in the morning, I didn't think it was a good idea to climb up on the roof. And I really didn't have a lot of time because I got to be here. But I stood out in my driveway and I made a video, actually, that I posted on my YouTube channel, of course, and of the SpaceX launch. And it was beautiful that when there's a launch at night or in the early mornings and there are not that many clouds out, it is a ball of fire heading to outer space. And it's absolutely amazing to me. And I've been watching these things. I've lived in Florida since I was a little kid. And when I was in elementary school, I started school in Florida in, I can't remember if I think I was in the 5th grade, and that was during the space shuttle era, and they used to take us out of school. You know, they take everyone out of the classroom. We'd go out and outside at the playground and watch the space shuttle launches. So I've been watching launches my entire life, daytime, nighttime, early morning like this, and they always are amazing. But the reason I share this with you is not just because it's a beautiful sight, and plug my YouTube channel, Brian Craig Show on YouTube, which you all should be checking out anyway, because I made a YouTube video of the launch this morning. Elon Musk is being attacked by the Democrats and the media establishment as a threat to American national security because he outed that not only the FBI, but now we found out with the latest Twitter files that came out over the Christmas weekend that the CIA was also controlling Twitter. The FBI and the CIA were running Twitter and censoring Twitter and doing all kinds of craziness on Twitter. And there's no argument that could possibly be made that Elon Musk is a national security risk or is a threat to democracy or anything else. He has rockets that launch into space and don't just go to the space station. If he's this evil James Bond-like villain that they want to portray him as, they want to portray him like as the guy in Moonraker or Goldfinger or something. You don't have top clearance. He has the highest security clearance a person can have, and he's got an entire fleet of rockets and spaceships that he could put anything on and launch anywhere. So if the government of the United States actually thought Elon Musk was any type of threat to the United States, as opposed to all this rhetoric, because he exposed the deep state's involvement in censorship on Twitter, they would take control of SpaceX away from him. You can't have someone who's a threat to national security with rockets and spaceships that they can put anything on them. It just doesn't make sense. And it's just stupid because the government knows he's not a problem. But anyway, let me get back to this. So, why did George Santos lie, and why did he have to lie, are a couple of questions that I'm going to answer here in the beginning of the program. And those of you that are on hold, stand by. I will take calls after the first break, okay? George Santos, and I'm going to go through his biography, both his fake bio and his real biography, is an unconnected regular guy. What they would call him in the media is a nobody. I'm not going to call him a nobody. He's like me or you. He's not connected. He's not rich. He has no family connections into politics. He didn't inherit the office like Liz Cheney or George Bush, or Pelosi comes from a political family, or Mitt Romney comes from a political family. He's just a regular guy who was a customer service rep. And now he's a member of the United States House of Representatives, which is pretty amazing. And to do that, he had to fluff up his resume. And he snuck by them. They didn't pay much attention to him for whatever reason. I didn't either until a day or two ago when this story first started coming out. And I never even heard of the guy before. I didn't follow the local House races in New York. And I looked him up today and found out there's two things about him that have them really, really trying to destroy this man. One, he's MAGA, a strong Trump supporter. And two, he's a gay man. He's gays for Trump. And in all these attacks, have you noticed you don't hear anything about him being gay? And the gays are one of these victim groups that the Democrats think they have a monopoly on. So this guy, they're out to destroy MAGA. We know this, right? I was talking about Carrie Lake. They're going to do to Carrie Lake what they did to Trump. They're going to spend the rest of their lives trying to destroy her because she's MAGA. And the real reason that Tulsi Gabbard tarred and feathered him while she was filling in for Tucker Carlson last night, and there's all this press coverage in the New York Times attacking him and everything else, isn't because he's a liar. All these politicians are liars, okay? Including Tulsi Gabbard, who supports the Green New Deal and legalizing drugs. And I don't mean just marijuana. That's one thing. Marijuana is legal everywhere. She wants to legalize all drugs like heroin, cocaine, powder and crack. God knows what else, okay? And does she let you know that she's some radical Green New Deal, legalizing heroin, activist, liberal? No, she tries to act like she's some pro-American, pro-military, old-time Democrat that's really a conservative in the mold of President Kennedy. She's a complete fraud. Everything about Tulsi Gabbard is a lie. Okay? Just a complete lie. And she brings Santos on. And she's not the only one. We could be here all day, every day for weeks going through the lies that all of these jokers tell. But I'm picking on her because she had Santos on last night. So I think Santos did the right thing, lying about his resume. He said he worked for Goldman Sachs. All these guys work for Goldman Sachs, sometimes before, sometimes after. He said he went to college, and he didn't. So what? So what? Their real beef is he's a gay MAGA guy, he's gays for Trump, and they just can't have it. He snuck by. So both the Republicans and Democrats are out to destroy him. And, the biggest takeaway from the Twitter files, in a broad sense, I don't mean like specifically, but the biggest takeaway from the Twitter files is all mainstream media, of which Twitter was a part of before Elon Musk took it over, is about crafting public opinion. So anything you hear in the mainstream media, that goes for Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, the social media platforms other than Twitter and Truth Social, because they're in the hands of good guys right now, Trump and Musk. anything they say, believe the opposite, all right? Believe the opposite. There's an agenda. What the media are about are telling you what to be concerned about and what not to be concerned about, what to think about this and what to think about that. So the very fact that the Republican media and the liberal media have joined forces against Santos and want him out of Congress because he lied makes me support this guy even more. And when I found out, I was going to support him before I found out he's gays for Trump. But they don't want to tell you he's gay because they don't want to be accused of homophobia and gay bashing. So if you're on hold standby, I'm going to get into more of this when we get back. I'll go through his fake background and his true story, which is an absolutely great American immigrant family story that we're going to share. How is his story any less true than Barry Soetoro? You guys know who Barry Soetoro is, right? Barack Obama. He used to, that was his name. I betcha that Michelle called him Barry before he became president. She asked it, yeah. Did you know, I bet you didn't, did you know that when Barack Obama was in college, not even graduate school for law school, I'm talking about like this, the 4-year college, do you know he traveled to Pakistan and had a meeting in private with the prime minister? I don't know if it's a prime minister or a president, whichever one they have. He had a private meeting with the leader of Pakistan while he was in college. Who has that kind of connection? Obama did. What about AOC? She's not from Brooklyn. And what was her Anglophile name that she went by? She has another name she went by. And she just became Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez when she started running. What was the name she went by? I'd forgotten. If you know, if you can remember, let me know. I don't spend too much time thinking about AOC. Sandy. Yeah, she went by Sandy. Thank you very much in the YouTube chat room. She went by Sandy. What happened to that? Where does Sandy come from? Alexandria? I've never heard that turning into Sandy. I don't know. She was, so when was she passed? Her whole background's a lie. Just like Barry Soetoro. Just like Biden. And there's a whole bunch more. Okay, Dr. Jill Biden been passing herself off as a medical doctor. She's got an education doctorate that she got from a school named after her husband. Do you think she had to defend her dissertation? I doubt that. So if you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show. Yeah, you have to have a real trained ear to hear the dump when you're listening on the radio. I don't know if you've ever heard. Have you ever listened when somebody said a dump?
Well, when I've heard you do it before, I feel like it's not like a skip, but like
it like splices two pieces together.
Exactly.
But if you're not listening for it,
it just sounds like it's just regular. I know that sign anyway. When you have to tell someone,
yeah. I hear people use it all the time on radio stations because I'm listening for it, you know.
That's what I try to do, like, just listen and all and be like, oh, like, I know what they just
yeah.
did. Oh, okay,
yeah.
That's this and that.
Just $19.98 with our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at mypillow.com.
Especially if I'm with people, I like to point it out to them.
Yeah.
You probably didn't notice that, but now I'm seeing radio, I do.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Steve Kane Show. Anyway, Steve Kane Show. All right. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I know. I've got more on Libs of TikTok today, too. I'll get into that later. We're here till 9. If I go through everything in the first 20 minutes, what am I going to do for the next 2 hours and 40? I can't drop everything in the first segment. Not that I'm stretching things out. I'm just, but I got 3 hours.
Think you might have COVID? Have you come into contact contact with someone who is sick? Are you traveling and need a COVID test? Same-day PCR testing is available at any lab test now of Coral Springs on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Open Monday through Saturday. No appointment necessary.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. I was just listening to the commercial for Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around, but only 2 advertising on the Steve Kane Show. That's Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs and Any Lab Test Now of Boca, meaning don't go to the other ones. Go to those 2. And right now, both locations, Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, are offering huge discounts on flu tests. It's flu season, right? Flu testing, strep, if you need to get tested for strep, and also COVID testing, if you need COVID testing. There are a lot of people that still have to get COVID tested each and every week for their job. Can you believe? I know. And so they have a huge discount if you mention you heard about them on the radio for all that testing. But my family, we go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca. Steve goes to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. And myself and my wife and my daughter, we go there for all of our lab tests. You're in and out in 15 minutes or less. You go to the doctor for lab test, and my doctor, I'll tell you how bad it is. My doctor is almost right next door to Any Lab Test Now of Boca. And even though they're right next door, I go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca for my lab test because they do them so fast. I get them the next day. If I go to the doctor for lab test, it's like a 90-minute, 2-hour thing. I'm in there 10 minutes. And I'm out with my lab test. So make sure you mention you heard about them on the radio, though, and you get the discount on the flu testing, strep test, and, of course, COVID testing. All right, let's go to the phones. And I'm going to continue to talk about this, though, about George Santos made the right choice in lying to get elected to Congress. But there's a lot of other things I'm going to touch on today, too. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Richie, the bus driver. Good morning.
Hey, Richie.
I have to listen. I watched the interview with Kelsey.
It's going to change the subject.
Him pretty good. We always complain there's no hard interviews. This guy looked like he was going to swallow his Adam's apple with the Jewish deal that he said he was Jewish. But the deal is this. She basically said that there are politicians that lie. The guy, Connecticut, said he was in Vietnam. I know Hillary Clinton
That's right.
came under fire when they all lie. That's the word out there now. But I find it quite rich that when Kevin McCarthy says something, that bothers you because you say he's lying. He's lying. So in other words, you can't trust a politician, none of them, including it doesn't matter who you're talking about, except for President Trump. I found in the time I'm there that they're all liars.
Yeah, of course, they all are liars. And Kevin McCarthy, my problem with Kevin McCarthy is that he conspired with Liz Cheney and Pelosi to remove Trump from office and make Pence president. And that's so I'll never be behind that snake. I don't care who supports him.
I don't support Kevin McCarthy. I would love to see like you. I think like you, a hardliner in there that'll put these people to the fire. But it's not going to happen. Not the way because we don't have enough. I told you.
We don't have enough yet. That's why I'm supporting this lying resume guy, Santos. This guy Santos, he lied. So what? So he could get into the club. Yeah, I worked at Goldman Sachs. Oh, okay, you're in the club. Here, if you got to do what you got to do.
He said he worked with people at Goldman Sachs. I mean, she was tough on him. I'm not going to lie to you. I saw that interview, and I felt sorry for him, but he had the guts to come out there. But give the guy a chance already. Don't attack him right away.
Yeah, and she's a complete fraud, Tulsi Gabbard. Complete fraud.
Yeah, I think people do change over time, though. I mean, I don't know if I know that she's very patriotic. She is, whether you believe it or not. She believes the same thing as you do with Afghanistan. Not Afghanistan, with, what do you call it?
What?
Ukraine.
Yeah.
Same as you.
I don't trust her. I think Tulsi Gabbard is a Trojan horse who is being groomed to run for president or vice president, And they are making her sound like a lot of things she is not. She is a creation of the uniparty political establishment. Do not trust that lying snake, Tulsi Gabbard.
Well, I don't trust Kevin McCarthy either. So, Andrea, I'm bringing Andrea up because yesterday you said I laughed. That was you that laughed in the background, not me.
That was you. You laughed, you giggled, and I laughed. We both laughed.
Andrea cried on the phone with you. She gets all wrapped up. She's really deep with this stuff. I'm sort of, it goes off my shoulder. She's a smart girl, and I appreciate her phone calls. She was the one that brought me to the fire. That's why I apologize. Because I was wrong. I was wrong with Ukraine. Okay? Absolutely wrong. I don't think the money, I see it now.
Well, yesterday, okay, so Sunday, Putin says he wants peace talks. Yesterday, a high-ranking person, not Zelensky, but a high-ranking person in the Ukrainian government said they want peace talks. There's no way Biden's going to let peace talks happen. They got more money to steal.
Ukraine is demanding that he give Crimea and everything else.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
Never going to happen. Never, never, never. So we're going to be there for 100 years.
Yeah, but you know what? But you could get a ceasefire going, at least for a little while, which would save some lives during peace talks.
I agree. This is crazy crap here. And Steve was thinking like World War II with and I thought the same way in the beginning. But
listen, you guys grew up during that Cold War BS. That was a big lie too. I caught the end of it in the 80s. So Steve and people of your age have a thing about Russia. Russia they're not bad guys. Russia. Putin did some bad things, but
the truth of the matter is this is going to be a financial bottom of the pit, and we can't do this at this point we're being destroyed all over the place with money-wise. People don't realize you can't keep writing money that's not there, and Steve doesn't even realize this.
That's true. That's true, and hey, by the way, Richie, I appreciate the call, and that's why, we talk about gold and silver investing with William Youngerman. When inflation is coming, you want to be in the metals because, it's a store of value. The metals go up as the dollar decreases, if you notice. All right, callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show.
Maybe a ceasefire, like, was it Vietnam or?
They had them from time to time.
Yeah. And Korea.
Yep.
It's not over, but just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Stay back for a bit. Tension's still there.
Oh boy! Make sure you guys like the video. Everyone in government is a liar. All politicians are liars. This guy lied to get in. He had to. He's one of our guys. He's gays for Trump. I'll go through his bio. It's pretty amazing. All right, think about this. Like 10 years ago, he was a customer service rep for the Dish Network. And now look at him. He's in Congress, and they're pissed like a regular guy got in Congress. It's like Trump. They hate Trump because he's like a regular guy with $10 billion that became president. They don't like these outsiders. All these people in Congress are all connected. We got to do what they do. They lie. You can't, you can't win against these people if you play it straight. Maybe our people have to lie a little bit. Yeah, so what you do, I won't say exactly what it is. You hit the dump, and then just turn them off. No. Yeah.
The radio might come in handy.
No one will know. That's how you do it. Dump and then boom, same time. Things are getting heated. The delay might need to be used outside this show, so I could give classes on just how to use the dump button. I've used it so much. That's right, we got to use their tactics. That's exactly right.
We have been in the roofing and construction industry for 40 years. We are originally from Connecticut, where our values and work ethic is second to none. We install all kinds of roofs, from asphalt shingle, clay, and concrete tile, standing metal seam, slate tile, and flat roof systems.
That's right. It's a club, and sometimes you got to lie to get into the club, I guess. I mean, this is a club of scummy people.
Contracting family is what we are, and roofing and restoration is what we do. We help guide.
Yeah, this one. I had this one yesterday. This is, my mother-in-law got me this for Christmas.
Constantly informing them every step of the way. At Laporta Contracting, let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell at 954.
I do not like the cold. It's not why we live in Florida.
On our website at laportacontracting.com. That number again is 954-604-4602.
Trump is a special person. I've never known Trump to tell a lie. Have you? That's right. They don't like outsiders. And look how they're ganging up on him like the body snatchers.
Now that's the way to start the new year.
The true masters of radio in an unforgettable night. Let loose and play to your heart's content as you ring in the new year. Visit Caesars.com to sign up for Caesars Rewards and start playing your favorite casinos.
He told some pretty outrageous lies, too. I'm going to go through some of them when we get back. There's more than what we knew. But I'm still going to support him. I don't care that he's a liar. That's right. What it's supposed to do. You know, let some Democrat have the seat.
Must be 21 or older to gamble. Must be 18 for poker and racing. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
This is Lori Kane. When people go to the dentist, they think of the pain.
Did you guys listen to my podcast last night? Very good podcast last night. That segment on the Little Women, oh my goodness.
Call today.
These people have lost their minds.
4633 954-922-4633. That's 954-922.
I don't have to trust the guy.
4633 BrightonDentalCare.com.
I know that the establishment of both parties want him out. That's why they sent Tulsi Gabbard after him. So the fact that both political establishments want him out is good enough reason to support him, isn't it? Come on.
And we did the laser on her on Saturday. On Monday, she returned, and she said, thank you, thank you, thank you. The joy of doing this all these years is helping patients, and the lasers are just an amazing tool that I use to help people. With acute, chronic, young, old, golf, tennis players, NBA, football players, male, female, it doesn't matter. The laser will help. And once we finish patients up, I never hear from anybody. When I do hear from them, it's
Exactly.
the family, the wife, the cousin, the nephew that comes back to me. And that's the biggest story of my life.
Give Dr. Appleton a call at 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710 and say bye-bye to your pain.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. So let me get into this a little more detailed. So George Santos lied about some things that you haven't even heard in the news. He lied about one thing that's a pretty serious thing to lie about. I don't care. He's gays for Trump. He's gay MAGA. He's in Congress. I support this guy. And, you know, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We're not going to win. We're not going to be successful playing by the rules when they don't. And the very fact that the establishment of both political parties are after this gays for Trump, MAGA conservative Santos is reason enough for me to support this guy. And what I said at the very top of the hour was this. What we learned from the Twitter files was that the FBI and the CIA were controlling the entire flow of information on Twitter. You know they're doing the same thing in all the rest of the media. Whatever is on television, believe the opposite. Question everything. Whatever is on the television, cable news, Believe the opposite. The whole purpose of cable news is to drive you to think a certain way about every issue that they bring up. So Santos and his lies, listen to this. Santos's maternal great-grandfather was born in Belgium and was an immigrant to Brazil in 1884. Santos's parents were born in Brazil. He's claimed to have dual citizenship. Santos claimed that his maternal grandparents were Ukrainian Jews who fled to Belgium and then to Brazil to escape the Holocaust during the Second World War. But genealogical records and other evidence show Santos's ancestors have lived in Brazil for at least 3 generations. Well, that's 60 years. I don't know if you do by the generations 20 years, right? I don't know. His story is probably BS. And there's nothing to indicate they have any connection to Ukraine, have any Jewish heritage, or are Holocaust survivors. Archive versions of his campaign website say his grandparents fled Europe during the war, and he described them as Belgian. Santos has also claimed his father had Angolan roots. Angolan, isn't that like Africa? In November, he told the Jewish Insider that his mother's Jewish background beliefs are mine. In a campaign position paper he sent out to pro-Israel groups, he described himself as a proud American Jew. In December, Santos told the New York Post, I never claimed to be Jewish, I'm Catholic. I said I'm Jewish. That's Jew-ish. On his campaign website, this is a doozy. Listen to this. On his campaign website, Santos wrote that his mother was the first female executive at a major financial institution, and that she worked in the South Tower of the World Trade Center and survived the September 11th terrorist attacks. His mother's actual occupation was a domestic worker or home care nurse. He also, and there's no information that she worked in the World Trade Center. He said his family was wealthy and they were very successful business owners, but he told Tulsi Gabbard that he grew up in poverty. His priest said that when his mother died in 2016, they didn't have enough money for the funeral, and they did a fundraiser and mass for the funeral. But he doesn't know if the money went to the funeral because he gave the money to Santos. He claimed to have a college degree. He never graduated college. Until 2012, he worked as a customer service rep at a call center for the Dish Network. And it goes on and on and on. Just a long laundry list of things that are not true. This is what I'm here to tell you, okay? The Uniparty, which is the Republican and Democrat establishment, hate you, hate me, hate Trump. They do not want anyone in who is not a part of their club, who is not connected, who has not had their seat handed down to them. You know, these people think they're like British nobility. Like Pelosi has been trying to work out a deal so that her daughter can take over her seat in Congress. She thinks that it's like a title that she can hand down. Okay? And I know that's true in a lot of cases. There are more people in Congress that are connected than we'll ever know. They're all connected. All of them are connected. Even the people on television. I was shocked that that one fat, boring guy on Fox, Domenech, you know what I'm talking about? Ben Domenech, who talks so slow. I'm like, who is this guy? He's Meghan McCain's overweight husband. And he just happens to be, you know, on Fox giving commentary all the time. Everyone on the cable news is connected. Everyone in the government is connected. And when someone gets in who's not connected, or not, you know, a lot of these people are groomed from an early age to be where they are, they go out to destroy them. Santos, Trump, Carrie Lake, they go out to destroy them. And, you know, I remember President Trump said, say what you want about Democrats, they always stick together, no matter what. You know, these Democrats, you know, there have been Democrats that have killed women and gone on to get elected and reelected over and over and over again. Right? And have done other terrible things. So I think as MAGA, We need to be like that. If someone's MAGA, who cares? We support them till the end, as long as they're loyal to Trump, loyal to the MAGA movement and the ideology of MAGA. I don't care what they do. I don't care if they're liars. I don't care if they get arrested. I don't care if it's a guy who gets arrested trying to proposition an undercover police officer for sex in a men's room. I don't care. I'm going to support them. And you should too. That's the only way we're going to win and take over the Republican Party. Like Carrie Lake. I was telling you guys yesterday, Carrie Lake, she got off a little easy by that judge. Katie Hobbs was going after $500,000 in fees. She's looking to have to pay 30-some thousand. You think they're done with Carrie Lake? I'm going to be with Carrie Lake for life. Carrie Lake is about to go through harassment that mortals could not even grasp. Trump can ride it out because he's got $10 billion. Okay? In the second largest mansion in the state of Florida, and I think his mansion is the largest mansion that someone actually lives in. Because I think Vizcaya is the number one, but that's a tourist stop, and it's a tourist trap in Miami, which is pretty cool if you've never been to it. But, she's just a regular person. So if they're MAGA and they're loyal to MAGA, I don't care what they do. DUIs, nasty divorces, as long as they don't betray the MAGA movement, like Marjorie Taylor Greene may be doing. I don't care if Marjorie Taylor Greene's having an affair with 3 different men. They're accusing her of having affairs with 3 different men. I don't care as long as she's loyal to MAGA. Unfortunately, she's advocating for that snake, Kevin McCarthy. But if Lauren Boebert were having an affair with 5 different men, she's very loyal MAGA. I don't care. All those lies about Matt Gaetz, none of them were true. But if they were true, I'd still support Matt Gaetz. That's how we've got to be. Unless you want to give everything over to the establishment. So if they're MAGA, I'm with them till the end. Okay, we're going to take our last break of the hour. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Hey, how you doing? It's Uncle Eddie from Uncle Eddie's Restaurant in Jupiter. Season is here. Now it's time to eat real authentic
Let's see.
Italian food. The key to a great restaurant is consistency. That's what I provide. And the other places, cooks come and go every year. But at Uncle Eddie's, the chefs are trained by me, and they follow all my recipes. No matter who's cooking with my chef, which I've cloned for the last 30 years.
I mean, what do you guys think about that? Do you agree with me on that? Yes or no? Tell me no. Well, Sherry, that's not how you spell liar. So I'm not sure if you mean someone who tells the truth or something else. But yeah, exactly. I think more people agree than disagree. I think. Got to do what we got to do.
People go to the dentist, they think of the pain, but the biggest pain is the cost. Not with Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. The dental work is painless.
What script am I reading from? B Sprung. There's no scripts here.
922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com.
Oh, Glenn Beck reads from a script. You can tell. It's like listening to a book on tape. That's right.
Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a health?
I don't investigate. What am I, a detective? Who are you? You don't even have a name or a picture on your thing. Who are you? What, am I supposed to be a detective all day long when I'm not on the air? Well, good morning. Welcome, everyone. There used to be you ever see remember that TV show, Midnight Caller, with not Gary Sinise, can't remember the name of the guy that was in it. He did a radio show at night, and then it was like a true crime radio show, and he spent all day investigating the crimes. Who was in that show? Good actor, I cannot remember his name. Yeah, Gary Cole, that's it. All right, let's see here. I gotta find. That's right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. And, Steve had a great idea yesterday to do on New Year's what I did for Christmas. And I think I'm going to actually do this this year. I didn't even think about doing this. I had Christmas dinner from Anne Marie's, right? I went in on Christmas Eve, got takeout, got a great dinner of Italian favorites, all the big Italian favorites, and Sicilian pizza on top of it. And Steve said you should do the same on New Year's. And I think that's a great idea. And New Year's Eve is Saturday, right? So you can actually get your takeout on the day, not the day before like I had to do for Christmas, and take it home for New Year's and have a fresh, hot, homemade Italian meal catering your New Year's Eve party at home. That's a great idea. Anne Marie's in Pompano on the northwest corner of US 1 Federal Highway and Copans Road. You can order in advance. You can call and order today for pickup on Saturday on New Year's Eve. The number 954-889-6600. 954-889-6600. But if you have to go in at the last minute on New Year's Eve, that's okay. I went in on Christmas Eve. I didn't order in advance. Because, well, we didn't really know how many people we were going to have until the last minute. And I went over there on Christmas Eve and just waited. They made my food, and I had lunch while they did it. But anyway, if you want to order in advance for takeout at Anne Marie's for New Year's Eve, 954-889-6600. 954-889-6600. All right, let's take a call or two, and then we'll get into some more stuff. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike.
In a roundabout way, them attacking the Santos guy is about him being gay, because think about it. The Democrats have cobbled together what has been termed the Democrat reservation, right? Blacks, gays, Hispanics, women, different groups of people, right? If a person from one of those groups somebody from one of those groups decides to step away from that reservation, they panic.
Yeah, I think he's being attacked not because he's a liar, but because he's a gay MAGA guy. Yeah, if he weren't gay, it'd be a bump in the road. They don't want him to be a role model. Look what they did to the founder of the Walk Away movement, the gay hairdresser.
Yeah, and I mean, look at what they did. Look at what they did to Herschel Walker.
That's right, Black MAGA.
He was Black MAGA, and you've talked about the Blacks for Trump or whatever it was, that the guy that showed up at the at Mar-a-Lago and all that stuff. Those are people that have stepped away from the Democrat reservation.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, the reservation, the plantation, the Democrat bathhouse. I don't know, but I support Santos. I don't care. Listen. We got to play dirty. They play dirty. We got to play dirty. Hey, Mike in Louisiana, take care. Okay, now I've busted the media lying about sources close to Trump, and I got an example to show you. They blew it. It's in the Daily Mail. This is great stuff. Now, I can't use the exact quote because they use language you can't use on the radio. They use the F word. But the media always claim to have sources that tell them this and tell them that. They have no sources. The sources are all made up. Okay? And the press have a racket going. All sources are anonymous and you never have to reveal your sources. Well, how convenient. How convenient. None of them have sources. It's a lie. Okay? And the media, the left-wing media, always claim to have sources close to Trump that are talking to the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN. No one close to Trump talks to the New York Times or these other jokers. They just don't do it. And the Daily Mail, which is, of course, out of the United Kingdom, claims to have a source, and they used a phrase that shows that they made it up, okay? And I'm going to read this slow because there's the F word here. I don't want to have to dump myself. Anyone remember Neil Rogers' last show? He was reading a letter from an email from a listener. It had the F word in it. And he said the word, and the board op didn't dump it. And it was Neil's last show. Oh, my goodness. Listen to this. This is about this interview with this New York Magazine strange woman, Olivia Nuzzi, N-U-Z-Z-I. Donald Trump's furious over a report that quotes multiple sources within his circle, giving a cruel and miserable account of his post-presidency life. The sources claim to the New York Magazine's Olivia Nuzzi, N-U-Z-Z-I, that the 76-year-old former president's world has gotten so small that he barely leaves Mar-a-Lago, which, by the way, is a massive estate and a fortress. The quotes from Trump world paint the former president as an isolated figure who didn't want to run for the White House again but had to keep his word to prove the haters wrong. That's right. And here's the quote from the source. The source claims that Trump rarely leaves Mar-a-Lago. He plays golf, comes back, and blanks off all night. And they use the F word there. That blanks off, I watch a lot of foreign television shows on Netflix and stuff. I watch a lot of shows out of the UK, I like the K-dramas too. I like the Korean shows. Blanks off is a British expression that Americans do not use. You might tell someone to blank off. I've told people that, right? You may tell someone to go blank themselves, but the phrase that somebody blanks off is a uniquely British phrase. Okay? And this is in the Daily Mail, British publication. They have no source. It's a lie. Okay? Anyone in Trump's orbit that would be a source is an American who do not go around using British phrases like that. So they're busted. There is no source. I mean, we know there's no source. They make all the sources up. But in this instance, it's kind of like in Inglourious Bastards. Remember when the Brits were in that bar, right? When the Nazis were in there and the Brits, hold up three fingers differently than the German. Remember that? And they got busted. He held up three fingers in a way that Germans don't. Remember that scene? Well, that's what happened here, okay? You got busted. You have no source. That's a British term. The people around Trump are Americans and don't use British phrases, all right? Just a bunch of liars. I had to talk slow there because I didn't want to slip like Neil did. All right, good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Ken from Jupiter.
Hey, Ken.
I'm fascinated how, because I heard you earlier, pointing out the heritage of this Republican who's being just lambasted at this point. What about Elizabeth Warren? Where was the moral outrage over Elizabeth Warren and her consistent lies, Pocahontas, in regards to...
Well, Elizabeth Warren did more than Santos. She did not only just lie. She was a professor at Harvard or Yale. I always forget. It doesn't matter, right? Harvard. Okay. When she was a Harvard professor, she listed on her application that she was a Native American Indian. Okay? Native American. So she had a position that she took from an Indian. She was like C. Thomas Howell's soul man who took Ray Dong Chong's spot in the law school because he got her scholarship, you know. So she stole money from the Indians and was passing as and committing a financial fraud by claiming to be an Indian. Santos just lied about some things, and you know, he didn't take money like she did.
Oh, well, exactly. I mean, she used the system to gain it for herself. I mean, that was the reason she was hired at Harvard. It wasn't because of any of her abilities.
Yeah, and she's a racist. She passed as an Indian because she has high cheekbones, and someone told her she kind of looks like an Indian, so she went around telling people she was an Indian, right? Because she had the high cheekbones.
Right, and the whole point is that this is so selective. I'm fascinated how selective everybody is in regards to whatever it is. But if you at one point of your political career state that you love the Constitution, you love this country, you back...
You're MAGA, that's it. That's right.
You will have...
Well, you know, I remember when Hillary Clinton said she was named after Sir Edmund Hillary, who was the first man to climb Mount Everest, and he climbed Mount Everest years after she was born. But she said she was named after him, even though he wasn't famous until after she was named. Give me a break.
I would love to see the same standards to be applied to all members in the political class.
Well, I'm applying the same standards. Our people can lie as long as they're loyal MAGA people. They can lie about themselves.
So low if you're part of the global community in the White House arena, that you could really, I mean, more skeletons than a freaking DA office in your closet. It wouldn't matter.
So you're with Santos too. So you're with Santos too. You support Santos, even though he's an admitted liar.
I have to look into it more. The thing is that this outrage makes me very suspicious because there have been so many of the political.
I mean, look at Biden. Biden lied about his college education. He lied about. Remember, he was a plagiarist. He got caught giving speeches from that British member of Parliament. Give me a break.
Oh, and he destroyed. I don't know if you remember this story, but when his wife was killed in a truck accident, he came out and said the driver was intoxicated.
That's right. That's correct.
They gave him.
It made him a victim because back in the 70s, drunk driving was a big thing, right? Mad and all that. Everybody was talking about drunk driving. So he was in the in vogue thing at the time by being a victim of a drunken driver. That's because that was so big in the 70s. Hey, listen, from Jupiter, thanks for the call. All right, take care. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig, and that caller made some very good points. Our number, 888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. Much more to discuss, and I'll get into more right after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indian.
All right, what am I going to do next? I got so much to talk about here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, let me get into the libs of TikTok. I'm going to play I played one clip on my podcast last night. I'm going to play that one, but then I got a new one, too, that I want to play, that I did not play last night. Oh, man. Libs of TikTok is amazing, but I still think she made a mistake revealing her identity. Did any of you guys see my YouTube short of the SpaceX launch this morning? That was in my driveway. this morning. It was super cool. Yeah, it went on for a long time too. Usually they kind of go they take off. My house is just exactly due south of Cape Kennedy. Oh. Oh my gosh. Do I have to dial 1 to dial out?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Steve Kane Show. Hello? What do I have to dial out? 1, right? Steve's wife has texted me to call her, and I keep calling her, and it's going to voicemail. So I told her to call me. But we don't have much time, so. Hello? Hello? Yeah, I only got like 30 seconds. Yeah, I only got like 20 seconds. How and when? And about what? When you're on? When you're on? And like when you're on? When you're on? You there? Where is she? I'll have to talk to you about it in the next break. I don't have enough time to figure it out right now. Okay.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. All kinds of craziness going on during the break. But if you watch on YouTube, you get the behind the scenes and you get to see all the crazy, weird things that happen during the break, like the complete chaos that was going on at the top of the last hour, and then during the break here, more chaos and confusion going on, but that's okay. That's what makes it's live radio, and that's what happens. The show must go on. All right, welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun, and I think most people so far have agreed with me that if we have a loyal Trump MAGA Republican, it's okay for them to lie and do whatever it is they do as long as they're loyal MAGA, and I'm going to stick by that. Now, libs of TikTok Oh, man. Some amazing things have come out about libs of TikTok. Now, if you're not familiar with libs of TikTok, let me tell you what it is, and then we'll get into these just incredible revelations from libs of TikTok that were just revealed because the libs from TikTok person has come public, identified themselves, and showed their face to Tucker Carlson on an interview. And I've got 2 clips I'm going to play for you, which are amazing. But if you're not familiar, libs from TikTok is an account on Twitter. And what libs of TikTok does is monitor liberal lunatics on Twitter, mostly school teachers and government workers, but mostly school teachers who talk about their gender reveals and their transgenderism to their little kids and all this stuff, and then takes those videos and posts them to Twitter. And libs of TikTok is one of the most influential people in American society. And I give you 2 big examples right here in the state of Florida. You know the Don't Say Gay bill? Now, I know it's not really the Don't Say Gay bill, but that's what everybody knows it as. It's like not all gelatin is Jell-O and not all hot tubs are jacuzzis, but we call all gelatin Jell-O and all hot tubs jacuzzis. You know, jacuzzi's a brand, Jell-O's a brand. So, you know, people know it as the Don't Say Gay bill. The Don't Say Gay bill, according to Governor Ron DeSantis, happened because of libs from TikTok. Libs from TikTok made people aware of things that they weren't aware of before. All this weird stuff going on with the transgender teachers and all that stuff that and sometimes you'll hear me play even audio from it. So libs from TikTok is influencing government policy. You know this business with Disney, where Disney has lost their governmental status, the Reedy Creek governmental status? Ron DeSantis did that, and the Republicans of Florida, in response to the libs of TikTok. The libs from TikTok exposed everything Disney was doing. So libs from TikTok is making policy changes at the highest levels of government, and it's amazing. And the woman behind libs from TikTok made a mistake, and that's showing her face. She had been doxxed. Doxing is when people identify you and everything else. She had been doxxed, identified by name by Democrats some time ago, but she never confirmed it. And she went on Tucker Carlson, confirmed who she is who they've been saying, and showed her face. Now they're really going to go out to destroy this poor girl who is brilliant. She's done interviews before on television, but always on the phone without showing her face. And now she's gone public showing her face. They're going to be all over her. I mean, they just hate this woman because she exposed everything they have been doing. All this outrage in Loudoun County, all of that is because of libs of TikTok. It's worth having Twitter just to be able to watch libs of TikTok. And I've never known an individual who wasn't in government who was so influential. The libs of TikTok is just a girl with a Twitter account. She is more influential in government than the top lobbyists have ever been. Like Big Tobacco and all that stuff. She's more influential than them because she's one person. She doesn't donate money. She just shows the videos of these weirdo school teachers and has affected major policy and had an impact over things in ways that are just amazing without donating money and just being one person. She's done more to combat and have victory against these weirdos than the Christian Coalition ever did in all of the many years that they were active. It's absolutely amazing. So she gave an interview, and I have 2 clips from it. And the first one, and it's Tucker Carlson, and this is on his Fox Nation show. Fox Nation isn't that bad. Pete Hegseth has a great special about the life of Jesus that was up this week for Christmas, which is spectacular. Spectacular. He went to Israel and did everything. Went everywhere Jesus went. It was amazing. there's some good stuff. As much as I dislike Fox, Fox Nation is really good. So Tucker Carlson did this interview with Libs of TikTok on his Fox Nation show. I wish he would have done it on the regular Fox, but you know, oh well. But this is the first part of it. Here it goes.
What's going on here? Do you have any theories?
I think there's.
Now, of course, what they're talking about is all this gender stuff and transgenderism and everything. That's what the question's about.
What is going on here? Do you have any theories?
I think there's something so unique about the LGBTQ community has become this cult, and it's so captivating, and it pulls people in so strongly, unlike anything we've ever seen. And they brainwash people to join, and they convince them of all of these things. And it's really, really hard to get out of it. It's really difficult. And there are studies on this. Like there's been a lot of reporting on this about people, parents who are like, you know, my child is starting to say, you know, that they're non-binary or transgender or whatever, and what do I do? How do I stop this? And it's really, really difficult. It's unlike anything we've ever seen, I think. It's extremely poisonous.
But do you see a spiritual component to any of this? You don't have to answer that if you don't want.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I do. I don't think this makes sense at all.
No, it doesn't make any sense. And I think they're evil. And sometimes we try to break it down a lot, and you know, we discuss like why this is happening, what's happening, and whatever. And I think sometimes the simplest answer is like they're just evil. They're bad people. They're just evil people, and they want to groom kids.
Yeah.
They're recruiting.
Okay, so that's amazing. And she showed her face for the first time on this interview. Big mistake for her to do. She should have remained anonymous. They're going to destroy her life. Okay, she said a lot of things there, but I'm going to take the break before I get into it. And then I got one more clip. She revealed something about Ron DeSantis, which it blew my mind, which I'll get to after the break. But if you would like to call in and participate, please do. The number toll free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. And we'll talk about that when we get back. Don't go anywhere.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9. This City Kia sales event will be held at one location only. City Kia, Orlando, right off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. Happy holidays from City Kia. Celebrate this holiday season in a new City Kia. Incredible savings at City Kia's best inventory in years. Hundreds of new Kias.
Yeah, that's the clip I played on my podcast last night, but the next one I did not. Well, I'm going to expand on what she said when we get back.
An honest auto mechanic.
I was texting.
But one does. Eddie at Champagne Automotive.
He asked me to do the thing for a minute.
Repair on your vehicle that your vehicle doesn't
So,
need.
and then I texted him the solution.
Old classic cars, even hybrids. Champagne Automotive Repair is the official mechanic of the Steve Kane Show. Call 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. And make sure you tell him you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show.
Well, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, the next clip I did not play on the podcast. I saved it for the radio. Thank you, thank you. A gold mic? This one's fine. This is a very nice mic. I'll show you. It's the same mic I have at home, actually. Except the mic I have at home, I've had since I've had the mic I use at home is the same mic, but it is 25 years old. That mic. These mics last forever.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious. Crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade. Nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back, and I want to talk about our fence and gate repair experts at EET. Oh man, do they do great work? And I know they've done a lot of great work for people in this audience because I've heard from some of you. And it started with just a small repair job that Steve needed on his gate and on this small section of his fence. And I tell you guys every day, these other gate companies and fence companies, they do not do repairs. EET does repairs. And of course, they don't just do repairs. If you need a new gate, if you need a new fence, they'll take care of that for you too. And they beat any competitor's price. So if you have an estimate from someone else, they will beat it. No job is too small. They don't have a minimum charge for repair or installation of new fencing or gates. And also, no job is too big. And one of our listeners actually called EET. They have a huge community, and they're doing their fencing and gate for this massive community, which is absolutely amazing. And it just started with this little thing where a tree fell on part of Steve's chain link fence. So no job too small, no job too large. They both do residential and commercial properties. There's free estimates as well from EET and no minimum charge. Give them a call. The number 561-255-1170. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio, okay? 561-255-1170. 561-255-1170. All right, so I want to finish up on Libs of TikTok here because this was a really great interview that Tucker Carlson did. And that's why I wish he would have done it on the regular Fox instead of on the Fox Nation app. She said a few things about what's going on with all these 86 genders and the transgenderism and everything else that's going on here. She said it's a cult. That's true. And she also said it's a fad, that a lot of parents want to have a non-binary kid, a transgender kid or something because it's a fad. Like, you know, like potbelly pigs as pets used to be a fad, right? Snickerdoodles, or is that the candy? What is the dog that's got doodles in it? You know, labradoodles. Okay, that's another fad. You know, snickerdoodles is a candy. But you know what I mean. That all this stuff that's going on is a fad. But another thing that she talked about, and then I'll add something to it. And then this thing she revealed about Governor DeSantis was pretty cool, which I'll share with you. What's happened with all this transgenderism and everything is they have redefined gay rights. All the gay rights have been accomplished in this country, and gay marriage was like the big kahuna, and they got that years ago, like 10 years ago. And what they've done is made a bigger tent to what gay rights are and have thrown in all these strange things, these genders and transgenderism and sex change operations for underage children that can't even get tattoos. You know, and these are permanent procedures. You know, when they take a biological boy and turn him into a girl, they have to remove the part that makes him a boy. You can't go back from that. Okay? So they've made that gay rights now. And a lot of it has to do with Trump and the MAGA movement. And I'll tell you what I mean. Most people in this country are tolerant of gay rights now. I'm not saying that most people agree with it, but people are tolerant of it, and it's just kind of the new normal. Nobody cares about it anymore. And a lot of gays have become not just Republicans, but MAGA Republicans, like this line guy Santos, Grinnell, who worked for Trump. There's a lot of gays for Trump. A lot of gay MAGA. And the MAGA movement isn't really too concerned about gay rights issues. It's kind of like a settled issue. So what the Democrats are doing is getting all these weird things going on now that was exposed by libs of TikTok as part of the gay rights movement to try to get MAGA Republicans talking nonstop against these rights to try to bring gays back to the Democrat Party and away from the MAGA movement. It's a propaganda thing that they're doing. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Carl in Columbus.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, I tell you, this Santos guy, I mean, yeah, I don't like that he lied, but, you know, he's more Jewish than Elizabeth Warren is American Indian.
That's right. And he's as much Jewish as AOC, who went by the name Sandy, is from Brooklyn.
Right. I mean, his grandparents are actually Jewish. So, I mean, what's the problem with that? I mean, my grandparents on one side are German, the other are Irish. Sometimes I say I'm German, sometimes I say I'm Irish, depending on.
Well, you know, his family converted. You know, I did the Ancestry.com. My family long ago were Jews, and someone converted and became a Christian, and the names changed immediately, right? That everybody was named David, and then all of a sudden, you know. Then all of a sudden Christian names came in, or so, you know, things like that, you know, so that kind of thing, you know, so that's, so, you know.
So basically the guy just created his own backstory to, I mean, I'd rather see him do that than claim he's a woman when he's not. I mean.
If you can, let me tell you, if you can be whatever gender you feel like at any given point of the day, why can't you be a Jew because you identify as that?
And the lady that I forget her name, that wanted to be she wanted to be black. She was white. The white girl that was heading up that West Coast chapter, the NAACP, that was really white and was passing as black. Yeah, I forgot her name now. Yeah. Yeah, but you know, I mean, hey, if he identifies as Jewish and then who's to say he's wrong? I mean,
let me tell you, there's a better chance that he's a Jew than Elizabeth Warren is an Indian.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%.
Rachel Donzel, or Dolezal, or Donzel was her name. Dolezal. Yeah, she was passing as black, and she got busted. Yeah.
Yeah, they do it all the time. Libs, it's okay for liberals to do it.
That's correct. I mean, look at this Rachel the admiral, Biden's admiral, that wants to give sex change operations to children. I mean, come on. And you know, she's an admiral. She's an admiral, or whatever. You know, do you know you're required that when there's salute, you have to say yes, ma'am? Biological man. If Rachel Levine in the admiral's uniform can be a woman, why can't Santos be a Jew?
Exactly. That's my point. You know, I'd rather see him.
Rachel Levine.
They're trying to tell. They're turning everything upside down. You know, and then when we do it.
Yeah. I mean, you can identify as whatever you want if you're a Democrat. You can identify as a kitty cat, and there are liberals who do say that they're kitty cats, and that's okay. But Santos can't say he's a Jew. He can't identify as a Jew. Yeah, I used to go out with this girl, right? And she's Jewish. All her friends are Jews except one was this Asian girl. And she used to joke around that this is like back in the 80s and 90s. She used to joke around that she felt like she was a Jew because she lived in a Jewish neighborhood. All her friends were Jews. And she used to talk about how she always wanted to be a Jew, and she would act like she was a Jew. She would tell people, well, I feel like I'm... This was before all this identification thing, and nobody ever said, you can't be that. Yes, Santos can identify... Let me tell you, if Rachel Levine can wear a ladies' admiral's uniform, work at the White House, and identify as a woman, Santos can identify as a Brazilian Jew. I have no problem with that.
I hope he doesn't resign, and I hope he just continues to...
That's right. That's right. All right, take care. Take care. And I just want to play one clip, and then we'll break. This is the last one of Libs from TikTok. Now, Libs from TikTok had their life threatened when they identified her, because you know the tolerant left. They're so tolerant they can't tolerate anyone who exposes and disagrees with them. And she revealed something about Governor Ron DeSantis to Tucker Carlson. It's pretty amazing. This is Libs from TikTok with Tucker.
When I was doxxed, someone from Ron DeSantis' team called me.
Really?
Yes. And she said, the governor wanted me to give you a message. He said, if you don't feel safe, or you or your family, if you need a place to go, to hide, to stay, you can come to the governor's mansion.
What?
He said, we have a guest house for you, and you can come and stay as long as you need.
The governor of Florida.
Yes. I can't even, I was almost in tears. Like, the governor of Florida, like, he has nothing but, like...
And you're living in California.
I'm living in California, and he took time out of his, I'm assuming, extremely busy schedule.
You think?
I mean, he's the governor of Florida, and to send someone to call me to make sure I'm safe.
That's crazy.
Unreal.
And invite you to stay at his house?
Yes, yes.
That's amazing. So Governor DeSantis is offering the governor mansion of Florida as a safe house to Libs of TikTok, who's being threatened for exposing all these wackadoodle teachers from the 86 genders and their reveal parties in their classrooms. This is absolutely amazing. Okay, we're going to take our break because I identify as a broadcaster who takes breaks on time. Even though I'm not, I'm identifying as that. We're late for the break, but we'll take the break. Steve will be joining us after the break. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Don't go anywhere.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
The Steve Kane Show. Yep. Hold on. I don't want to say it, but because I don't want it. People here. Can you write down the phone number for one of these lines for me? Any of these lines, yeah, a back line. Our private phone lines that special people get to call in. Any of them is fine. What do you tell me in the chat what you identify as? Right? What do you identify as? Is there one that is a 561 number? Okay.
The Palm Beach commuter still in great shape this morning on 95 and the Turnpike remain crash free, moving up the speed from Boca Raton to
Because the
I actually might be able to pull out. Might have one just in case.
yeah, it's got to be one of these. What do you guys identify? You identify as human? Okay. American? A fire truck. I like that one. That's a little more creative. A man? A child of the king? That's a good one, yes.
A lot of people's favorites, at least in my generation, is attack helicopter.
Attack helicopter, yeah. A Trumplican? A woman, wife, and mother, yeah. A Brinks truck, yeah, filled with cash. Yeah. I identify as a billionaire. That's me, yeah. An unborn child, there you go. Identify as MAGA. Yeah. That's one of these lines.
don't know if it'll go exactly. I have 3 of them that could be used, but I don't know if they'll go exactly to those ones.
You can call us or text us anytime at 561-626-4377. That's 626-4377. Or check out our website at nutritionworld.com. Come see us 7 days a week.
You identify as Melania Trump. Oh.
Here's the 561.
In these, that'll ring to here?
Sure, that's what the email said.
Okay, okay.
With our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E at checkout. I've tried every pillow too. The foam pillow, bamboo pillow, and a bunch more. None of them worked until my first night's sleep with the My Pillow. And patented fill inside, just to your exact individual needs. It keeps your neck aligned, holds it in shape all night long, no matter your sleep position. So you get the best night's sleep with no tossing and no turning. So you wake up in the morning refreshed and ready to go. Now this is the lowest price that Mike Lindell's offered the My Pillow for. It's just $19.98 with our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E at checkout. You can also order over the phone. 1-800-716-4879.
Put an extra, like, use it to put an extra slot so it could go.
Okay.
If that'll work for you.
K-A-N-E. Order your My Pillow and get the best night's sleep just like I do every night.
Looking for the hottest spot north of Havana? Look no further than the Ben West Pub. Join them this New Year's Eve for Copacabana, their Latin-inspired event that is sure to bring in 2023 like no other event in town. Select your celebration activities from their all-inclusive ballroom event featuring excellent cuisine, a 4-hour open bar, and the tropical sounds of 4-time Grammy Award winner Tomasito Cruz. Or choose their late-night option with access to the famed Spruzzo rooftop bar, where you'll be poolside with high-energy vibes and a 2-hour open bar till after midnight. All events taking place on the Ben rooftop have views of the Palm Harbor Marina and Palm Beach Island. Come dressed to impress. Doors open at 8:30 p.m. Dinner reservation options are also available. Tickets on sale now. Visit Eventbrite, keywords The Copacabana.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Building Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry for 40 years. We are originally from Connecticut, where our values and work ethic is second to none. We install all kinds of roofs, from asphalt shingle, clay, and concrete tile, seam, slate tile, and flat roof systems. We work with homeowners, HOAs, commercial properties, and churches. We are state of Florida licensed roofing and general contractors. At Laporta Contracting, family is what we are, and roofing and restoration is what we do. We help guide our customers to a successful outcome by constantly informing them every step of the way. At Laporta Contracting, let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or visit us on our website at laportacontracting.com. That number again is 954-604-4602.
Anne-Marie's Pizza and Wine Company, family owned, family operated. Amazing. Sizzling Philly cheesesteaks, lobster ravioli, subs, and much more. Live music, patio seating, and 2-for-1 on all beer and wine for ladies' night every Wednesday. Come visit us today at Anne-Marie's Pizza and Wine Company, your local family-owned Italian restaurant. Anne-Marie's Pizza and Wine Company, located on the corner of Covens Road and Federal Highway. That's Covens Road and Federal Highway, right next to the movie theater. Anne-Marie's, we'll see you here.
Hi, I'm Megan from Palm Beach Patio Furniture, and we're celebrating the holidays with incredible values on our outdoor patio furniture. Sunset West seating and dining, Hanneman collections, and of course custom designs for all of your backyard spaces. Palm Beach Patio Furniture, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created. Come in today and say hi during our holiday celebration and save a bundle. The newly remodeled Palm Beach Patio Furniture, located in the Seminole Shops Plaza, North Palm Beach, or online at palmbeachpatiofurniture.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Callers on hold, stand by. Steve joining us. Hey, Steve. I don't think so. I just texted Lori, I think, the answer to the problem, just like during the break. So if she checks her text messages, it should fix it. We're talking in code. No, but I texted Lori the way for her to reach us.
Probably do that tomorrow.
tomorrow because I think it's a little late today. But she is in England. She's British. She is She has an advanced degree in British curse words or whatever the hell.
Oh, okay. Oh, the Daily Mail. Okay, the Daily Mail has a story. Let me just tell people what Steve was talking about. Steve's daughter lives in the United Kingdom. She lives over there, and she's become a British person. Okay, and yes, exactly. And the Daily Mail has a story today where they have an inside source inside the Trump circle who works on his campaign, and the Daily Mail is I read the Daily Mail throughout the day. It's like the Drudge Report used to be 20 years ago, but it's out of the United Kingdom, and they got busted, in my opinion. Their inside campaign source at Mar-a-Lago says that Donald Trump rarely leaves Mar-a-Lago. He golfs, he comes home, and he blanks off all night. And the blank is the F word. Yeah, and there's yeah.
It sounded strange to me, so I tried to set up a call where we'd speak to Courtney on the air, but it didn't work. But maybe we'll. Well,
let me tell you what we're talking about. So I watch a lot of British television shows on Netflix, and blanks off is a very crude term, but it is used in a lot of the British television shows I watch, including what I think is probably the most brilliant television show ever put together, called The In-Betweeners, which is out of the UK, which is absolutely amazing. You'd love The In-Betweeners, Steve. There's lots of dirty talk, sex, and nudity, but it's about these guys in high school in the UK, and it could have been made right here in Florida. And that's one of the most common phrases they use, and I've heard it in other British programs. I got to speak slowly because the blank is the F word. Yeah, oh sure, yeah, right over the radio, Steve. I'm sure, yeah, no. I know what you mean. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. Blanks off. Blanks off. Yes. It means the same thing. The blank is the F word. Yes.
Trying to get context here. You say it's something that you tell somebody F off?
My finger is on the dump button. Don't worry if you're in management listening. Don't worry. We will not slip. That's why I'm saying blank instead of that, of what Steve's saying, just in case. But no, that's correct. No. It's in the context of how you use it. Okay, if you use it in the context they use it, it's a British phrase. In America, you might tell someone, "Go blank yourself." You might tell someone, blank off. If it in the American phrase, see, I don't know if this person wants me to use their name with this. I just got a text message from a well-known radio personality who will remain nameless at this point to protect their themselves. But a very well-known radio personality said the American phrase is not the F word, but is wax. Is what an American would use in place of the F word in that context. I don't know. This well-known radio personality that sent me a text message, they seem to know. That seems to sound right to me. Yeah. Why? So your daughter says that's not a British phrase? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, that's what I was going to try to clarify because
it's in all the British television shows I watch, Steve. I watch a lot of British crime, true crime. The In-Betweeners, I've seen every episode like 80 times. There's only a couple seasons of it, and they say that all the time. And it's just not really an American phrase. And I think the Brits in the Daily Mail got busted making up a source. Let me pull up the story so I can get the context. Oh my goodness. I know no one's driving the kids to school because school's out this week. I just want, when I'm looking up this story, let me tell you just what's been going on for the last 45 minutes. Steve has been involved in transatlantic conversations. I've been getting text messages for the last 40 minutes to connect to the UK and everything. We try to do this all over this. So, okay, this is the quote. I just pulled it up from the Daily Mail. Okay, President Trump is an isolated figure who just plays golf, comes back to Mar-a-Lago, and blinks off. That is not an American phrase.
No, it's not.
Correct. So I was right. They made up the source. They got busted. They're using British phrases that the Daily Mail has no... the Daily Mail is claiming. Well, it's not one that she uses, but I see it. I hear it in all the British television shows I watch all the time. They use that all the time. Only you would have your daughter come on and talk about the F word. I mean, that's just strange, but we'll do it, I guess.
We're saying, and I wanted to... Meanwhile, let me...
Well, okay. Okay. We got a full board of calls, by the way. Maybe someone will clarify this. All right.
In the last hour. But I see that Richie seemed to have had a come to Jesus moment. He was agreeing with me on something. Can you fill me in?
I didn't hear him agree with you on anything. He was agreeing with me. He said in the... No. He said in the... He said that at the start of the war in Ukraine, he agreed with you that whatever it takes to help Zelensky was the right thing to do. And now he agrees with me that it's a big financial scam going on with the government and helping Zelensky is not the right thing to do. He agreed with you, now he agrees with me. Well, it was a moment of truth. He just didn't agree with you. It was his truth. He agrees with me now. I don't know.
Okay, that's...
I'm getting very weird vibes in my head. I feel like I did the other night when I drank all that wine. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know what's going on, Steve, but you're having an intoxicating-like effect on me. I feel like I'm drunk. I have no idea what's going on, what you're talking about, what I'm talking about, but I do know this. Blanks off is a British phrase. It's in the In-Betweeners and a lot of other British programs, like Little Britain. I've heard it in Little Britain as well, which is a classic.
What you probably heard, in the context of what you probably heard, is that in Britain, it's blank off. You tell them to blank off. Okay?
No, but if you're talking about someone else doing it, you when you're describing somebody else as doing it, that's when you add the S. When it's the action of someone else doing it. Can you guys believe this is what Steve and I do for a living? This is just bizarre. This is bizarre. All right. When I was on my way in this morning on I-95, I called Steve and we're talking about different issues, and I said, "Oh yeah," and I said this thing about the blanks off. I can't give you a hard time. It's my subject I brought up, but let's take the break and come back to our calls. How about that? All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll be right back after this.
The cold, hard truth.
You watch Gordon Ramsay shows?
Yeah, he says it on Hell all the time. Gordon Ramsay. For blank's sake, with the S.
When he tells people to go away, he says F off.
See, Steve's daughter lives in England, but she's really an American. I saw her. She was here before Christmas. She has an American accent, at least when she's here. Yeah, Gordon Ramsay.
He uses it all in different ways.
Blanks off with an S is all over Hell's Kitchen. Yeah. Go blank off. He blanks off. Yeah, exactly. I forgot about Gordon Ramsay. Yeah.
Favorite chef.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get a free LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, and a backup battery, and their low-cost central station monitoring. But that's not all. You get free professional installation. Get it while it lasts today. The first 40 True Oldies listeners call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME and mention the True Oldies channel. It's that simple.
Do you suffer from knee pain? Have you been told that you have bone-on-bone or need a knee replacement? Have you been told that you have osteoarthritis? Well, then come see us at Lighthouse Medical Center. We have non-surgical solutions that include rehab and injections that can prevent you from having to have surgery or prolong the surgery. We have been in practice for 75 years in South Florida. You don't have to live with pain any longer. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
Hey, how you doing? It's Uncle Eddie from Uncle Eddie's Restaurant.
Ah.
Now it's time to eat real, authentic Italian food. The key to a great restaurant is consistency, and that's what I provide. And the other places, cooks come and go every year, but at Uncle Eddie's, the chefs are trained by me, and they follow all my recipes. No matter who's cooking with my chef, which I've cloned for the last 30 years. So stop going to those boring fugazi joints. Come down to Uncle Eddie's where you have great food and a great time. As far as music goes,
I'm sorry I brought it up now. I didn't know the whole show was going to center around it.
Friday, Saturday night, Bobby Flint's second piano man. And Sunday night, the best night of all, sing along with Uncle Eddie, hosted by Mike McGann. Uncle Eddie's located at 4050 US 1, just north of Donald Ross Road.
You never know what's going to interest Steve. You never know.
Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Would that make life easier for you? You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor.
That's right. It's like fishing. You never know what the fish are going to bite for, right?
With that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you.
No, it's a holiday week, so.
Family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. Steve is here. Oh, by the way, Steve, that blanks off with the S is one of the most common phrases used by British chef Gordon Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen on Fox. I've heard it there a lot, too. What, a phone?
Now, or actually, we can take some calls on the people want to talk about it.
Yeah.
In the last hour. But what I'm saying is, tomorrow we will schedule Courtney Kane as that's not her name now, Courtney Powell, I guess is who she is now. I don't know which name she...
Well, you know, your daughter's not British, Steve. She's American. She's an American in England. Well, apparently not. All right. We can have your daughter on tomorrow, but she's not the authority. I would say, you know, we have UK Neil, I know, is out there listening, and I know UK Neil knows all the curse words of the UK. I know that for a fact. Okay. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. Steve, you got to tell people, you finally have taken my advice. You've gotten the 100% Giza Cotton MyPillow Dream Sheets.
Oh, sensational. What incredible they're like, well, everything is cool now. It's cool all over. We're in an ice age or something.
Well, you know what it is with the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets from MyPillow, which, by the way, with our promo code Kane at checkout, are just $29.98. And I have 6 sets of them, 4 regular and 2 flannel. Giza cotton is the finest cotton in the world. It comes from that Giza region. And I don't know, I'm not the sheet guy, I'm not the pillow guy, Mike Lindell is, but what he's done with this Giza cotton and these dream sheets is your body temperature, regardless of what the temperature is the perfect temperature, perfectly regulates the temperature of your body. So if it's cold or hot, you're like Goldilocks with the sheets. Well, listen, the 100% Giza cotton dream sheets, and Steve just got his, and I knew he was going to be raving about them. I looked it up. All sizes, colors, and patterns are in stock right now. They just re-upped after the holiday shopping season. So if you go to mypillow.com, use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, you can get your MyPillow 100% Giza cotton dream sheets that I sleep on every night, and Steve now, just $29.98. You can also order by phone, toll-free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Helen from Kansas.
Oh, hey, Helen.
Hey, Helen.
Hi, Steve. Well, have you... Christ would say, have you not read? And he says in Revelations 2:9 and 3:9, says, I know thy works and tribulations and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue or church of Satan. A lot of people want to blame the Jews, our true brother Judah, for murdering Christ on the cross. It wasn't our true brother Judah that did that. It was
Okay, so to try to make it relevant to what we're talking about, you're saying that... No, you're saying that if Santos is not a Jew and he claimed to be a Jew, he is what?
Of our true brother Judah.
Okay, well, okay, so you stand with Santos. Okay, I agree with that. All right, good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian and Steve. This is John in Wellington.
Oh, hey, John. John is our Wellington profanity expert.
I am indeed, and I use it on a regular basis.
Well, the mean streets of Wellington.
Actually, it was the mean streets of Boston originally, and using that bad word in the context that you guys are talking about right now, I used it a great deal growing up, and I still use it to this day.
Blanks, an S, off?
Yeah.
That's the Irish influence. That's UK. I'm going to blame that on UK too, because the Irish in Boston.
Exactly, and I am Irish.
There you go. So it's a UK phrase. It's a UK phrase.
You would say something to the effect of, where is Joe? Oh, he's blanking off. Well... So whoever this
blanking on, if you're saying the context is the same as if you say somebody is goofing off, yes, that's an accurate interpretation of the word.
That is correct, but that's the original context. That's how this whole story began this morning.
Well, I think we can assume, because of the profanity, regardless of the root nation of it, that someone that works on the Trump campaign at Mar-a-Lago is not using that word describing Trump to some reporter from the New Yorker and the Daily Mail. I mean, so come on.
Characteristic that would describe the Donald.
Exactly.
He's always involved. He's always, he's hyper involved. Which is the opposite of effing off, which is in the sense that you're using it now. Effing off is like goofing off.
I don't think he has the ability to goof off. I think he's a machine, and I think he works from the time he gets up until the time he puts his head on the pillow.
He's a compulsive worker.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, the main point of things are this. The media claim to have sources that tell them all kinds of things. They have no sources. They make everything up and credit it to anonymous sources that they have taken a vow in the journalistic ethics that they hold dear to never reveal. So they don't have sources. They just claim to have sources. There is no one that is at Mar-a-Lago who describes President Trump in that way. He just blinks off all night. Give me a break. They just made that up.
That's correct. We all know that.
All right, so it's settled. We can still have your daughter call in and talk about the F word tomorrow, Steve. That's fine. I mean, you know. Is there anything else we could talk to her about other than the F word? Okay, because that just seems like strange. I don't know if you want to go there. No, I'm kidding. All right, our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's the number. Yeah, no, I'm sure, but I am too. It turned out, I just saw her like a week ago. I saw her at Wings Plus right before Christmas. And I was surprised she does not have an English accent, because last time I heard her, she sounded like Posh Spice, and now she's got an American accent again.
Depends who she's spoken to as.
Yeah.
Fourth.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to get to a few other things, though, if you don't mind. I'd love to take some calls. 1-888-GO-CANE-1 is our number. I just wanted to play this clip here. This is from MSNBC, Julian Castro. And what he's talking about are the illegals that were dumped off over Christmas weekend at Kamala Harris's house. And Julian is very upset about this. This is on MSNBC yesterday.
And it's an important point to remember. These are human beings. And it says something about Greg Abbott that he's willing to be this mean, this intentionally cruel, to have people duped into going to a place, being dropped off on the side of the road, without many of them, without even jacket on, including, as you pointed out, kids. And that kind of cruelty also says something, I think, today about the Republican Party and where it is, that you have people like Abbott and DeSantis trying to figure out who can be the biggest jerk and thinking that that's the way they're going to get elected, perhaps in a 2024 Republican presidential primary. And so Greg Abbott is somebody
he's in Congress.
that has been angling to get on the presidential election track for a long time. I think that he sees this as completely consistent with that. He thinks he's scoring political points by doing that. I really don't know what's scarier, the fact that you can have somebody that cruel, that mean in office in such a position of power, or that there's something underneath that, which is a base of the Republican Party that gets its kicks by this kind of cruelty toward people.
Okay, this is Julian Castro, Democrat jerk. Okay, Julian Castro, Democrat member of the House yesterday about the illegals dumped off. Okay, now, if there were a bus of people, like this week, it got pretty cold. It was like 45 degrees here in South Florida, which let me tell you, that's like sub-zero temperatures here in South Florida. And I saw the people getting off the bus, and I saw some of them, they were wearing shorts and T-shirts, including their children. If there was a bus of people that got dumped in front of my house in the winter weather, and they had little children, okay, that were wearing shorts and T-shirts, had no warm clothing, I would go outside, I would offer them clothing, and I'd also offer them some hot food from my house, but not Kamala. Kamala Harris and the Democrats, she could have gone out there. She could have gone out there and helped those people and gave them warmth and served them some soup at her house, the vice presidential residence, but that didn't even occur to her. No, it didn't, because I don't know what she was doing. I don't know. Was Willie Brown? I don't know what she was doing. But if I saw people helpless like that and suffering outside my front door, I'd lend a hand. But that's just me. I'm not Kamala. All right. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Steve is here. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Back after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robe Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good day, everybody. So much better for your forecast today. We'll see mostly sunny skies with highs in the mid to upper 70s. Really no rain chances
by Palm Beach Patio Furniture, Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture, voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
True Oldies Traffic Check.
And the Palm Beach is still clear this morning on the expressways. 95 on the turnpike on one crash free, moving up the speed from Boca Raton to Jupiter. Kids are still also some relief on the roads. East and westbound Lake Worth Road a bit crowded now approaching the turnpike. We're seeing some more volume now on 95 heading northbound from Deerfield Beach into Boca. And we're seeing a minor multi-vehicle crash on the westbound side of Atlantic Avenue approaching Jog Road. This report is sponsored by Ozzy.com. Get smarter every day at Ozzy.com. Try a new news site that tells you about the most interesting people, places, and ideas. Discover the next Obama or maybe the next LeBron James. Try OZY.com right now. Ozzy, it's like a latte for your mind. Get some. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News Update.
Cancellations with Southwest. Some employees are reporting 17-hour wait time for customer service, and passengers have been stranded for days. This is ABC News.
If you came across someone stranded, how would you recognize them? Would you notice the 16-year-old boy who got his first job? Friends are spending money to help feed his little sisters? Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am hungered in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why about hungeredinamerica.org, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. This City Kia sales event will be held at one location only, City Kia of Greater Orlando, right off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. Happy holidays from City Kia. Celebrate this holiday season in a new City Kia. Incredible savings at City Kia's best inventory in years. Hundreds of new Kias available right now. 2022 Kia Sorento from only $165 a month. Lease $59.87. Do it signing with approved credit through Kia Finance. Get more for your trade. Up to $5,000 over KBB. Spin the price wheel with every purchase and win. TVs, iPads, gift cards up to $500. City Kia has the best selection of certified pre-owned ever. Over 60 to choose from. The City Kia year-end sales event will be held at one location only. City Kia of Greater Orlando, right off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. It's City Kia's year-end sales event. Hundreds of new Kias waiting for you. Sale ends January 3rd. Visit us at citykia.com. From our families to yours, have a great holiday season.
Hi, this is Maureen Cohen from Nutrition World Palm Beach Gardens. We're so excited to be celebrating 50 years here in South Florida. The Cohen family started their first health food store in 1972, and ever since have been one of the largest locally owned, family-run health food stores in the area. We carry thousands of supplements like vitamins, minerals, herbs, homeopathics, diet and fitness, and so much more. All your favorite top-quality brands. We also have tons of natural foods like gluten-free, paleo, and organic, as well as health and beauty aids, pet foods, and more. Visit Vanessa, Trish,
What's not part of the show realm?
They're here 7 days a week for all your family's natural health needs. So stop by Nutrition World at the northeast corner of PGA Boulevard and Prosperity Farms Road in the Carmine's Market Plaza by the Prosperity entrance. You can call
You'll text
us
me.
or text us anytime at
Oh, it must be good. I must have missed something good.
4377. That's 626-4377. Or check out our website at nutritionworld.com. Come see us 7 days a week at Nutrition World Palm Beach Gardens.
Back to the
Oh.
Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back. The third and final hour of today's program has begun. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. Today's Wednesday already. Aren't you so glad we worked on Monday? The week's flying by. You know, a lot of times, sometimes people, you know, a lot of you know this, a lot of you don't. I live stream on YouTube, and we have very overly opinion people in a chat room watching me work every day for the 3 hours of the show, commenting on everything from my hat to my shirt throughout the program, among other things. But sometimes people are asking me, what am I looking at during the break? Because sometimes I'm looking down, and people will DM me, what are you looking at? Well, I just got a notification just a little while ago that there was someone at my front door, and I'm not home. I want to know who's at my front door. You know, my wife's there, and it was someone delivering packages from Amazon. But you know, that's what happens when you got the doorbell camera. You get a notification every time there's activity at your front door, and it's a great thing to have. And if I wanted to, I could talk to the guy and tell him where to put the packages, but I didn't have to do that. Listen, you can get a doorbell camera for free. Call Sloman's, tell them you heard about them on the radio, and they'll tell you how you can get a free doorbell camera. And let me give you the number. It's 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. All right. So I was just reading this article, too, a little earlier. It's in The Hill, how Rupert Murdoch's media empire turned on Trump. And it's a detailed story about how they're not covering Trump anymore on Fox. And Trump has really been kind of canceled. You don't hear him mentioned at all in the mainstream media. But there's the Democrats are up to something. Yeah. What do you mean mutual?
To get back in the news cycle, he could do it if he wanted.
Oh, no, Steve, no. They're not covering him. They're not covering Trump on Fox or the New York Post or anything.
He's not doing anything that would cry out for coverage.
Actually, no. He has not taken a break. No. He has not taken a break. It only seems that way because you watch cable news and they don't show him. No. He has been commenting in real time and incredible detail publicly about the Twitter files, among other things. Every story that's been in the news the last 2 or 3 weeks, he's been very actively commenting on, and they're not covering his reaction to any of it. And what they're doing is it's cancel culture. Fox News is working with CNN and MSNBC to cancel Donald Trump, and they've decided that he gets no coverage unless they, you know, Merrick Garland charges him. They'll cover that, but no.
If he did something outrageous, they'd cover it. Or if he'd have his lawyers get up, and there were things his lawyer would say. If all he was interested in was being in the news, he could.
Yeah. No, they don't. They're not. They won't cover anything. No. Well, I'm telling you. I mean, you know, the Twitter files. They're covering the Twitter files. They never once give you his reaction. But anyway, what the government is doing right now is so insane. I believe Donald Trump is going to be charged by Merrick Garland and arrested. And we were talking about this last week when that. Yeah. Well, yeah. And the Democrats run the government right now, and they have started doing something which is foreshadowing the arrest of Donald Trump. Yesterday, there was a story out of West Point. West Point has removed any reference or image of General Robert E. Lee, and paintings and statues of General Lee just this week have been removed from West Point. And the reason for... I'm getting to that. It very much is. Now, typically, when a painting or a statue of a Civil War Confederate general is removed, it's usually got BLM connected to it. And they tell you it's because, you know, they either were a slaveholder, a racist, or in the Klan, and that's why we're removing it. That's not the case with General Lee. General Lee's images have been removed from other places using the racism excuse. I did not know that General Lee was actually, before the Civil War, was the superintendent of West Point. I read in a story. I've never heard that before. But they talked to the commandant of West Point. This was in the press yesterday. And he said, the reason that we have removed the General Lee statues and paintings is because General Lee led an insurrection against the United States government. I've never heard that reason for any Civil War general being taken down before. So that, and you know, West Point is the Pentagon control it, the federal government, Biden's government, General Milli Vanilli, and this idiot defense secretary we have run it. So this is the first time I've ever seen them remove any of these generals because they took part in an insurrection. So what they're doing is preparing people for the fact that they do not tolerate insurrectionists as the buildup to charge and arrest Trump comes up.
So what have we proved here?
I don't know, Steve. You seem very tense with me today. I mean, are you upset with me or something? They're building up. It doesn't prove anything, Steve. But with the story. I think we were doing better when we were talking about the F word. What I'm talking about, Steve, is the story of General Lee is getting a lot of press, okay? Because it's a holiday week, slow news period, and there have been for years stories of taking down Civil War generals for racism. This is the first time for insurrection I've ever heard. And this was at the direct order of someone at the Pentagon, probably came from the White House. And the news accounts tell you that he's been removed not for racism, not for slavery, but because General Lee led an insurrection. They're trying to get a media narrative going that this government does not tolerate insurrectionists. And so when they charge Trump, there'll be some other generals they probably go after too. It's just foreshadowing what's coming. Not you know, that's all. Just a little thing I picked up that no one else noticed. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Well, our number, toll free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1.
My theory, everybody's got their own theory of how this thing is going to play out, and I think we all are pretty sure it's going to have a grand climax to it, that no matter what happens, no matter what direction it finally takes. But I think that the way Trump is going to win this, because I see Trump coming out on top. Never, as I keep saying over and over and over again, never, ever, ever underestimate Donald Trump. Never, ever, ever. Believe me, he may be silent at this point. Believe me, if he wanted his name in the paper, he knows how to make that happen. But he's taking a deliberate rest here for a moment. But when the climax of this whole thing starts to unfold, Donald Trump back in control.
Steve, see, this is what you're missing. Yeah, I disagree with everything you said. I disagree with the whole premise, and this is what you're not getting. He is not taking a rest. He's been releasing messages in video format and high definition on Truth Social almost every day. And I'm telling you, the media are not covering it. It seems like he's laying low, but he's not. And the media are not covering. He's commenting on everything on video that's going on in the news cycle right now. And even over Christmas, he had a Christmas message. He's not laying low.
But if he wants to be heard, he knows to do more than he's doing.
Yeah, he's got to get arrested. Then he'll be heard. Okay, all right.
Today, you don't think he can make that happen?
Why would he want to get arrested, Steve?
Well, I'm not saying he does. I'm just saying he is choosing not to do what it takes to get arrested now.
I don't know. I would normally tell you this after the show, but I'm just feeling a lot of tension here today, Steve. I'm feeling tension, and I don't know why. We shouldn't be tense. I'm just feeling tension with the two of us, and I don't know if it's because we couldn't get the phone working to the UK or something. I don't know, but there's tension going on. I don't even about what? We talked about what I was going to talk about on the show. I talked about the thing from the Daily Mail, the lying Republican MAGA guy, and the libs of TikTok. That's all we talked about this morning before the show. I have no recollection of any other subject matter. What, that you're pissed? Is that what you want people to know you're pissed? There's just tension going on here. It's not my fault that your daughter can't call us from England. I gave her like 4 phone numbers to call. Oh, I think people love it. I think people love it. I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to figure out where it's coming from. I'm trying to find out what the root cause of your grumpiness is.
That when the time is right.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. For the next 43 minutes, I'm trying, but every time I bring something up, you're like, so what? So what? Which is fine if you've got somewhere else to go. But if every topic I bring up, you're like, so what? I mean, how do I have a conversation with that, Steve? I mean, if you got another topic and you say, oh, okay, but let's talk about that, it'd be a little different. But there's tension on your side today, because Courtney couldn't get through. I gave the 4 numbers to call in, Steve. Now I'm not in the UK. I can't pick up the phone and call for them, so it's not my fault. I gave them 4 back lines that are not available to the public to call in. Okay, fine. Okay, let's take our break, and when we come back, there'll be more to talk about, I hope. Now, and then Steve's response will be, so what? What's next? Take a call. You're shooting down there. I mean, Steve, it's bad enough we're here during a holiday week. Everyone else is off this week but us, and you're making it tough today. All right, our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE-1 888-465-2631. It's a toll free call. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-CANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9.
Oh my goodness. It's making you want to eat chips and dip. Why? I don't even know what that means. No, what had happened was, we had a full board of calls about Santos and the libs of TikTok. And then Steve got us into this F word thing, and he cleared out all the lines because no one was really, you know what I mean? And then he's like, well, take some calls. Well, that's kind of what happened. Somebody wants to know how many gay people are in the chat. I don't know. I don't know if people want to come out in the chat. Somebody just messaged me. I don't think people want to come out in the chat. If you do, you can type in the chat, I'm gay, if you want. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why someone wants to know that, but someone wants to know. Confusing the chat for a dating site, yeah. No, you're welcome to call back in.
My card that they fixed.
Oh, yeah, we're coming back. All right, we are back, and the board is open at 1-888 Cocaine 1. This is a rough day. I'm Brian. Steve is here. Oh my goodness, Steve. There's 38 minutes to go. Oh my goodness. Now, are you with me, Steve? Okay. All right. Okay. Just making sure. I didn't know if we were still speaking. All right. I'm not insecure. Yeah, we're both in a strange mood. Well, you know, I was drinking all that wine over the weekend. I guess, you know. Yeah, I know. I was looking for the answers at the bottom of that bottle and didn't find them. That's it. That's it. But I do want to tell you, while there is not a solution to my aggravation right now, there is a solution to your pain. If you're a little with you, yeah, but that's okay. I'll tell you. I will after I tell people about the laser wave pain treatment with Dr. Appleton, and then I'll tell you. Okay. You know, Dr. Appleton and his laser wave pain system works, and I know it works because it worked on me in 2 different parts of my body with 2 different types of pain. My knee injury, I suffered from for years. I was in constant pain, especially this time of year. Cold weather, rainy weather, it was like, it was awful. 2 treatments. My knee pain, gone, and it has not returned. It has been months and months. Then I went in for my arthritis pain. 1 treatment. My arthritis pain, gone, and it has not returned. It's absolutely amazing. And the laser wave pain treatment works on many other types of pain, too. If you're suffering from pain, go see Dr. Appleton. No appointment is necessary. Walk-ins are welcome. And, of course, you know, he's open 6 days a week, the 6th day being Saturday. Give him a call. Make sure you tell him you heard about him on the radio so you can take advantage of the no-charge consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. I don't know. You want to do therapy? You want to have a talk show? What do you want to do, Steve? It's up to you. We can talk about the... I am in a strange mood. I am in a strange mood. But I don't know if I want to... I don't know if I want to tell... I don't know if I want to... I don't know if I want to say on the air. I don't know if I want to... Well, go ahead. Give me the example first. You said, for example.
Is to make the phone ring and to get interesting discussion.
Oh, I did that. I did do that earlier. Yes. Yeah. No. Okay. Okay. Now here we go. All right. Now. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna do therapy. Okay. Now we hit on it. Go ahead, finish, and then I'll. Yeah, go ahead.
I have thrown out this morning on the air that when you are in a better head or you're feeling good, you would jump on them like a dog on a bone, and the show would take off, and the board would light up, and everybody would want to participate. But when I throw out the things that are of subjects that are of mutual interest and that we've talked about before, that could create an exciting discussion, which is the name of the game, you don't pick up on it.
Give me an example of one of the things you brought up today that would explode the phones that I didn't pick up on.
I would be glad to do that. Now you're being more cooperative. Now I'd be glad to do that. I threw out something, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes ago that is something I have heard you say that I know you, that is a common thread of many of the conversations we've had off the air that I think would, everybody would be interested in. And that is this theory that both of us have of overreach by Donald's opponents, and that they are going to do this, the boundaries theory that we talk about all the time, which is that liberals don't know boundaries, and they push and they push until eventually they get themselves in trouble because they overreach. And everything, this is a very delicate point in the drama that is unfolding, and you and I have had conversations off the air when what I threw out on the air, you've said to me that these people are going to go too far, and they are going to do something that is so outrageous in their handling of Trump that all of a sudden all the pieces are going to start to fall into place, and things will be more like they used to be in terms of the issue of...
Well, okay, listen, we're late for the break because we've been behind on our last 4 breaks, but I'll say this going into the break, okay? And then we'll break and come back and talk about it more. Donald Trump in the end will win, but things are going to be very rough. He is going to be indicted and arrested before he wins. And a lot of people say, well, they have no evidence. These are dirty cops. This is like Richard Gere and Internal Affairs. They don't have any evidence. They'll manufacture evidence. They'll plant evidence. They'll do whatever it is they got to do. They're going to charge and arrest Donald Trump. Now, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Yep, they want the perp walk. That's correct. Correct.
Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created. Here's the oldies forecast.
Good day, everybody. So much better for your forecast today. We'll see mostly sunny skies, highs in the mid-70s, really no rain chances as high pressure is dominant. I'm going to PM for the high first 40 meteorologist Sandra Shaw. Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture, voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
Get smarter every day at Ozzy.com. Try a new site that tells you about the most interesting people, places, and ideas.
561-245-8101. Make sure you tell them you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show.
Bergman Jewelers, located within the Alton Town Center in Palm Beach Gardens, has been a top buyer of estate jewelry for 45 years. Ray Bergman is highly respected for his expertise in fine jewelry. He always offers top prices for classic, one-of-a-kind, or designer pieces.
Yeah, I like that room. That's good.
Buy or sell, Bergman Jewelers is always honest and professional. Bergman Jewelers offers an exquisite selection of new pieces, modern and vintage. Are you in search of that one-of-a-kind piece? They can design it for you. Bergman buys fine watches like Cartier, Patek Philippe, and many others. Do you find that you're no longer using certain pieces? Take them to Bergman Jewelers for a top offer. Bergman Jewelers pays the highest premiums. Bergman Jewelers buys gold, silver, geodes, certified diamonds, watches, and jewelry. Located at 5340 Donald Ross Road within the Alton Town Center in Palm Beach Gardens. Visit their showroom today. Bergman Jewelers.
Another community first message from Rogues. The Rogues Law Group wants to send you to see FAU basketball. Great seats all season.
Was that you that was moving the stuff around?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Recently injured? Contact the Rogues Law Group today. 561-570-5700.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. Our number one, 888-GO-KANE-1. So, now, just to comment about this arrest of Trump that I think is in the works. And it doesn't mean he's not going to prevail in the end. He'll win in the end. People like Trump are most successful when you think they're down, because that's what motivates people like Trump to be like super special, amazing people. But what's going to happen, and this is the media blackout, and all this stuff that's going on, and all this talk. If you watch just for a few minutes, and I would not do it longer than a few minutes, because it's not healthy for your mental health. If you watch MSNBC, all they talk about is, they're the opposite of Fox. Fox won't mention Trump's name. He is the president whose name shall not be mentioned. It's like he's like Voldemort over there. On MSNBC, Trump is replaced like every word of the English language, you would think. They use it so much. And this is what they're... And it's good to watch on occasion, because it's almost like you've got a camera inside the enemy headquarters, because they talk about everything. No one watches MSNBC, so they freely talk about what they're doing. So at some point, Merrick Garland's going to come out with the indictment of Donald Trump from this recommendation from that kangaroo committee, and then there's going to be a whole media dialogue. It'll be a dramatic press conference. All the pundits will be on. It'll be a whole media dialogue about is he going to surrender, or is Merrick Garland going to go to Mar-a-Lago and physically arrest him? That'll go on for 2 weeks, right? They're going to set up a surrender date first. Trump will not surrender. They'll have to come to him. So we're going to have an event like when OJ didn't show up when he was supposed to surrender, and the police chief came out and gave the press conference. Mr. Simpson is now a fugitive from justice. They have that fantasy going on in their mind. And it's going to be awful, and it's going to be dramatic. And these are very, very bad people. And it's going to be a rough year. The country, and for us, and for Trump.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better. All right. So when you say things are gonna get awful, maybe awful is not so bad. Maybe awful is necessary to move the farm along.
Well, Steve, the Twitter files, so much has come out about the Twitter files, and no matter what topic the Twitter files talked about, it was really always about Trump. These people think Trump is like worse than bin Laden. If they could, they'd have him on the 10 most wanted list, And I think people underestimate the hatred they have of this man. They really do. And that's why I say you watch a little bit of MSNBC, look at HuffPost a little bit, and you'll get a feel for it. And just because things in the end will turn out well, doesn't mean it's not going to be awful to experience before we get to that point.
There were no guarantees. Project possibilities of how they may turn out. But that's, of course, what Good Talk Radio is about. Putting the cards out on the table, speculating, making logical arguments on each side. That's what keeps... See, what's happening now, I don't know if people realize it or not, but trying to... If this whole situation was a painting that was, or a mural that was being painted on the Sistine Chapel or something like that, to have the plot move along without Trump being involved in the plot, when I always say plot, I don't mean in the sense of plotting, I mean the storyline, to try to continue to paint the portrait without Trump is like watching, it's the difference between watching a movie in color or watching a movie in black and white. It's like trying to paint a beautiful portrait without the use of any colors. Because Trump is what is interesting about the whole thing. And when we go through a phase like this where Trump, for whatever reason, is low-key, because the plot is taking a little rest here, it gets very hard to do talk radio.
Well,
back. They're not gone. Trump is not, you might call him in a state of hibernation right now because he's not involved in the plot so much. The plot's not moving, but it will move. And that, to me, is the interesting part of the story. What when we talk, Ryan, off the air, what I always refer to as the hook. That's the thing that makes it interesting to talk about. And when Donald decides to take a holiday, which he's done here, I think it's a good move because you can't, if you're directing a play, which is something I've done, you know what I mean? There have to be, there has to be a slow period, and then there's a flare-up of the plot, and it gets exciting, and then it goes, there have to be levels of it for it to work, for the whole thing to work. And right now we're in a slow period. That's what I'm trying to explain. But because it's slow now, that means it's over. It hasn't really, but the final act is ahead of us.
Well, that's true no matter what, Steve, because what's final is never here, right? Even when you're at the final, the final act with Trump is not going to be over in our lifetimes because the MAGA movement is going to be around for the next 100 years, and but this is the thing, and Donald Trump, and I think there's some contractual problems here that stop him from doing it. He has, let me look him up right now on Twitter because, Elon Musk unbanned him from Twitter. And, and I keep telling you that he's out there on True Social, but True Social is really, really small. On Twitter, President Trump has 87.8 million followers. And he's not communicating on Twitter because of True Social. I don't know if he's made a choice because he owns it or if it's, some people think he's got a contract. He's not contractually allowed to use Twitter. I don't know what it is, but Trump is but Steve, Trump, this is where we're disagreeing. Trump is not laying low. He is commenting in real time throughout the day, every day, on every news story on True Social, but nobody uses True Social. So it's
I keep comparing this to, my background is theater. I keep comparing it to a play, a Broadway play. You can't, if you're directing a Broadway play, everything can't be at the top tension every minute. It'd have to be intense periods and slow periods. That's called pace. That's what makes a drama work. The going from the highs to the lows, the highs to the lows. Trump is not choosing. He's choosing not to do the kind of things which will bring him back into focus.
Oh, okay. So so what you're saying is he's waiting for the right time to pounce, so he's not overexposed. Oh, okay. I can buy that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you just asked them. If you have an opinion on that, you're welcome to call. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. I don't think that's what's going on, though. I don't think he's lying low and waiting for the right time to pounce. I think that he's not allowed to use Twitter because of his Truth Social contractual obligations, and the rest of the mainstream media won't cover him. So that's why. So it seems like he's lying low because they have cut him off. You know? So anyway, we're coming up on the gold report, and we'll go to the phones after the gold report at 1-888-GO-CANE1. And I imagine, this is the time, you guys, every day we check in with William Youngerman. You really want to listen to William Youngerman these days. With inflation and recession, the metals are a safe haven for that. So pay very close attention to everything William Youngerman says every day during the gold report, and you'll do well through this oncoming recession. I'll tell you this, though, too, Steve, because, you talk about, I'm a little off today. My daughter moved out of the house on Christmas Day, and and I'll tell you, it wasn't like she got fed up and said, it's Christmas, and she'd been planning for a long time to move out, and Christmas Day was the day she happened to do it, and which is a little strange for me. So I might be off all week. It's just Steve has a bunch of kids, so one moves out, who notices? Oh, yeah, but you've got 7. I've got 1. That's a big difference.
Been tougher, which makes it tougher.
I know. I know a lot of parents, when their kids move out, they like throw parties and go on vacations and things, and they're like, oh, we're empty nesters. They get all excited. I don't know. That's not how I feel. I find it kind of depressing. It is.
Fortunate that we have a large home, and it just provides a refuge for any of the many kids in the camp.
Well, when you have 7, there's always going to be one that has a divorce going on or something, so they come home.
I kind of set it up that way.
The divorce? Oh, that's wonderful. All right. Well, listen.
No.
Oh, okay.
To have enough kids to make supply.
Okay.
Canes to fill the cane mansion.
That's true. Okay. All right. All right. Listen, we'll take our break.
The cane mansion always has room for more. Of course, with our good buddy Tom, we can put on additions.
That's true. That's true.
The dozen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll take our break. We'll take our break and come back with the gold report right after this. All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals look today?
Exciting times in the precious metals markets, Brian. We saw gold jump all the way up to its resistance area, and chartists jumped in at selling gold at around $1,837 yesterday, which was a big move, and then it pulled back, but still closed up $16.30 at $1,813.80 on gold. But big move. That's going to have to take some time to fill back in now and see if we can challenge that 1830s area to break through to get to that 1850 number we're looking for. Silver did very much similar and ended up closing up 31 cents on the day at $24.03 the ounce. Platinum was down $3 at $1,020, and palladium had closed at $17.56. This morning the rally is back up to actually down $7.50 right now at $18.0630. Overnight we saw gold trade in $17.99 to $1,816 range. Silver's down 18 cents right now at $23.85 the ounce. Platinum up $15 at $1,035, and palladium down $6 at $1,750. So good opportunity. A little bit of a pullback to take advantage of this dip.
Oh, yeah.
Challenge that 1830s area for gold. So
Absolutely. Now, yesterday you had mentioned at the end of your report that on some of the metals the premiums have gone down a little bit. What are some of the specifics when it comes to gold and silver that you're recommending people pick up today that they can get some extra value on?
Yeah, great values on most of the foreign coins from the Armenian 1 ounce silver arcs. To Philharmonics, Canadian Maple Leafs, all of these are half the premium they were when things were going crazy.
Wow, you're talking about the silver? You're talking about the silver ounces? That's amazing. Half.
Silver's available at a much reduced price, even though the silver itself is higher. The premium savings will give you a great buying opportunity there. Same thing with platinum and also with gold. Certain gold products are now very affordable again. So take advantage of this because going into 2023, we might find these same shortages. Certainly there was some tax selling going on this year, so that brought a little bit of product into the market, but that's going to be over with this week. So again, take advantage of the dips.
All right. Well, listen, William Youngerman opens up weekdays at 10 a.m., located in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. Online at williamyoungerman.com. And again, he opens up at 10. If you have any questions or you want to do business and order over the phone, you can do that toll free, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, we'll touch base tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. And, Steve, you saw Biden went down to the Virgin Islands because it's so cold in Washington. It's like 76 degrees in the Virgin Islands. Well, in just a few weeks, we're going to be there. One of our stops on our cruise is the British Virgin Islands. Yeah, we've been to the Virgin Islands before. Last time was on the American side. This time we're going to the British Virgin Islands side of the island. But even on the American side of the Virgin Islands, they drive on the left side of the road, which is the only place in America where they drive on the left side. Because it gets confusing, because they want all the Virgin Islands to be, but it is beautiful there, and it's going to be one of our stops. And you're all invited. But those of you that are going on the cruise, and I don't know if you want to tell people what you're doing, Steve, but I know some of our cruisers are going to Forever Youth to get rid of the lines and the wrinkles and some of that fat. The cruise is right around the corner, and of course I have to do nothing because I always look fabulous. But yeah, I know, but Forever Youth is new, but it's not new. Any Lab Test Now of Boca, which has been with us for many, many years, has expanded. And right next door to Any Lab Test Now of Boca is Forever Youth. And they have all the Botox, Juvederms, all those fillers to get rid of those lines and wrinkles in your face. They have the chemical peels to get rid of those age spots and the skin damage. You want to look great. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of singles on this cruise. So those of you, it might be a little bit of the love boat going on here. So you want to look good. And the thing that they have over at Forever Youth that really blew my mind is the FDA-approved Cool Sculpting Elite, which I was unfamiliar with. And what it does everything liposuction does without that violent, invasive procedure. Go online and look at liposuction. You would never get it done. The Cool Sculpting Elite is completely non-invasive. There's no surgery. It's in the office. You leave right away. And it permanently freezes away your fat cells. And when they're done freezing away the fat cells, they use it to sculpt the part of the body they're ridding you of fat in to be in the shape and appearance that you want it to look. And the Cool Sculpting Elite, which is FDA approved, works on all areas of the body where there is fat, right? Love handles, stomach, the back of the arms, the three chins, fat on the back, legs. If you've got fat, it works. And you can give them a call, 561-717-8081. 561-717-8081. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. Okay, so, you know, a lot of things are going on here, and the next 2 years are going to be some of the worst 2 years in the lifetime of most of us in this audience in this country. And I'm not talking about just what this nonsense that they're going to do with Donald Trump. What's going on at the southern border, which is never going to stop, right? It's going to continue and continue, and it's going to be talked about nonstop, and no one's going to stop it. And that's going to lead to a lot of things. The drug trafficking and overdoses are so bad, and the cartels are so without fear. You may see what I'm going to describe to you on television today. I can't show this to you on the radio because it's audio, it's a visual. But Steve, one of the drug cartels actually made a video and posted it online of them flying drugs into the United States on their plane across the southern border. They don't even, they're like, the drug cartels have been given word by the Biden administration that the border's open for your drugs, bring them on in, we're not even trying to stop you anymore. And you know, I remember when the crack epidemic was new, and there was a lot of panic over crack because, you know, a lot of people want to make crack a racial issue. The sentencing guidelines for crack are so much far more severe than powder cocaine. And the reason that is not racial, it's because crack was so cheap. Powder cocaine was expensive. You had to be rich for the powder cocaine, and crack cocaine cost peanuts. Homeless people could afford it. And so it was affecting many more people than powdered cocaine. The price of powder cocaine made it, it's a problem, but it was never the problem of crack. Fentanyl's worse than crack. Every day, you know, I read these fentanyl stories. I didn't realize how deadly it was just to be exposed to it. And I get very upset at the media who cover the border issue nonstop. They talk about Title 42 nonstop, but they don't talk to you about what's really going on. And the whole reason the border is open is for the drug smuggling of fentanyl. That is the number one reason. You know, there are other things that you know, people talk about the great replacement theory, you know, and there were other factors that the Democrats benefit from the southern border. But there has been a partnership made between the Democrat leadership of this government and the drug cartels. That's the only conclusion I can come to. It is the largest, I don't even want to call it drug smuggling because they're not smuggling, they're doing it pretty openly. It is the largest drug importation operation in the history of the world. And it's happening every second of every day at the southern border. And as much coverage as the southern border gets in the media, and it's getting a lot of coverage, they don't talk about what's really going on. The fentanyl story, they have fentanyl stories, but they really don't connect them to the border too much. And this is one of the, we were talking about Kevin McCarthy, you know, one of the things that the new Congress has to investigate is not just generally what's going on at the southern border, very specifically about the drug smuggling that's going on with the cartels, with the migrants coming across the border. This is Steve, I've known people that have drug addictions. It's an awful thing. I have a lot of sympathy for people that have drug addictions. You know, and it's a terrible thing. But this fentanyl, Steve, it costs less than crack, and it's more addictive, and it's more deadly than anything we've ever seen. And that is why the southern border issue will never be resolved while Biden's in office. And we've got 2 more years until the next election. Because he's allowing it. He's allowing it. He's stopped the finishing of the one because he has no problem with the drug importation and the other things that come with it. He's as far as I'm concerned, he's working with the cartels pretty openly, and China. You know, it's this. I've told you this many times. China, 2 more years. Everyone's talking about the border. Everyone's talking about fentanyl, but no one's doing anything about it because China's doing it, and China has too much control over our elected officials in Washington.
You kind of agree with me that that things are going to
worse. It's going to get worse and out of control beyond what we can even imagine. And the fentanyl crisis, it's not until Trump's president again in 24. No one, no other Republican, even DeSantis wouldn't be able to stop this. China is attacking us with the fentanyl through Mexico. And no one's even talking about that in the press.
The thing that has changed in the scenario now is the Republican Congress. Now,
that's right.
That's the moment of truth, because the question is, we as Republicans have talked a good game about complaining about all this. Now we have a little bit of leverage in the Congress. We have control of the House. It remains to be seen whether it will change anything. And if it doesn't, I got to tell you, I mean, I'm pretty disgusted with the Republicans, to tell you the truth. I mean, when I was watching them vote on this budget, or whatever it was, my rage was focused not on the Democrats, because I've come to expect their behavior. But when I see Republicans voting for this
yeah.
It enrages me, and there'll be some interesting things to see how they.
Well, what we're gonna listen. July 3rd is the beginning of the week. Next week. Next week is January 3rd. I'm getting like Biden. January 3rd is when we take over, and January 3rd is next week. And if the Republicans aren't making a move by January 6th, they're not going to do anything. And this country is being attacked by China through Mexico at our southern border. But see, we're out of time though. We're out of time. We're out of time. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, we can get back to the F word talk. Well, that'd be fine. It'll be fine, hopefully. But yeah, it's what it is. It is what it is, guys. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show. Although after today's show, you're probably asking, how did that happen? Well, this is an unusual day. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. And we'll be back tomorrow morning live at 6 a.m. with your calls. And there's a whole heck of a lot going on. I mean, it's sickening what's going on. But we're going to cover it all right here. We'll be live all week, this week and next week. God bless America, and God bless Donald Trump.
WWNN AM Pompano Beach. WIRK HD3 Indiantown.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.
Broadcasting live.